guys, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Feliz Navidad, which is an awesome Christmas tune. Now for the basics of this song, you'll just need your guitar in standard tuning and you won't need a capo. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you all the chords, but I'm also going to teach you some lead guitar parts, which are a lot of fun to play. And they also teach you a thing or two about basic theory and triads. The guitar I'm using in this lesson is an orange wood from their Overland collection, which has exceptional value for the price that you pay. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Let's jump into the lesson. Okay, so let's start with all the rhythm guitar, and in the second half of this video, I'll teach you some lead guitar parts that you can play. So let's start with the strumming pattern. I'm going to give you a couple of different options here, and you can use these strumming patterns throughout the entire song if you want. So the first one is a basic down-up strumming pattern at eighth notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So you can use that for each chord in this song if you wanted to. So it's really basic. Now for the second one, what we're doing is we're just adjusting that first strumming pattern by removing the first up strum. So we have down, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... That's the strumming pattern that I'm going to be using at the playthrough at the end of this lesson. Now for the next strumming pattern option, I'm going to remove another strum from that pattern. I'm going to remove a down strum, so it'll be down, down, up, down, up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you can see how strumming patterns are basically just derivatives of a constant down, up strumming pattern. Let's start with the intro, which is really nice and easy. So we start with a D chord, and then I'm going to go to a G chord. So from the D chord, pivot around your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and go to the G. Then we go to an A7 chord. So keep your ring finger where it is, slide it down 1 fret, and put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and strum from the 5th string onwards, and then back to the D. Now one little tip for the D and the A7 chord is to use your thumb to lightly touch that 6th string, because there's a big difference between accidentally hitting that 6th string on the D chord, sounds quite ugly, and if you lightly mute it with your thumb, a lot cleaner. We're going to play each chord for one strumming pattern, and this progression is played through twice. So the intro. Now notice on that very final D chord, I'm just strumming it, and then I'm using the side of my palm, just dropping my hand onto the strings so it's muted, and we get that short break, like that. Next we move on to the verse progression, which is nice and easy. We're going to start with a G chord, then go to an A7, then go to a D for 2 strumming patterns. So really nice and simple there. Now the second time around that we play this progression, for that final D, we're going to do that same thing again, where we're going to strum the chord just once and then mute it for that short break. So in total for the verse. The next rhythm progression to learn is the chorus, which is basically the same as the verse with one minor exception. So in that first line of chords, instead of playing that D chord twice, we're going to play that D chord once and then go to a B minor chord, which looks like this. So index finger, 2nd fret of the 5th string, ring and pinky on the 4th frets of the 4th and 3rd, and then middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And if you can, bar that index finger across to hit that 2nd fret of the 1st string. So that's B minor, and we strum from the 5th string onwards. So the chorus will sound like this. Now, if you're having troubles with that B minor, here's a couple of tips. The first one is to, instead of playing the full B minor, just focus on a B5 power chord. So that's the top 2 or 3 strings. If you get just those top 2 or 3 strings, it will sound almost as good as the full B minor chord. So just try that, and that is what I would recommend. Now, if you're really struggling, then you can just replace a B minor with a B minor 7, which looks like this. So from your D chord, keep your ring finger where it is, put your index on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and then middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And you can keep that 4th string open, and that's B minor 7. So with the easy B minor 7, this is what the chorus would sound like. So now I'll teach you some lead guitar parts, starting with the intro. So we're going to start with our middle finger on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. So we're going to pluck this, and then we're going to go up to the 10th fret of the 2nd string. We hold that 2nd note out for a beat, and then we go down to the 9th fret of the 1st string, back up to the 10th fret, and then down to the 7th fret with our index finger. So there's a 5-note run there. Now I want to note that we start this phrase on the end beat after the 2. It's not on the 1 beat. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... For the next phrase, we're going to go up to the 9th fret of the 1st string. We're going to hit that twice. Hold that out for a little bit, go down to 7th, and then 10th fret of the 2nd string with our pinky, back up to the 7th fret of the 1st string, and then end on the 10th fret of the 2nd. So this second phrase, and the first line of tab in total. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. For the second line of tab, we start off with that same first phrase. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. For the next short phrase, we're going to go 8th fret of the 2nd string, 10th fret, and then hold that out for a beat, and then up to the 7th fret of the 1st string, back down to the 10th fret. So the second phrase. And then for the final phrase, we're going to hit this 10th fret 2 more times, and then down to the 8th fret twice, and then down to the 7th fret. And the second and third phrase together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And that's it for the intro lead, which sounds like this in total. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Alright, so now I'm going to teach you a lead part that you can play on top of the verse, and this is based off some triads and caged theory, which is really handy to learn. So we're going to start off with this shape. So this is based off a G triad. I'll explain why in a sec. So ring finger, 9th fret of the 4th string, index 7th fret of the 3rd, and middle finger, 8th fret of the 2nd string. So where's this triad shape come from? Well, it's actually based off a C chord shape. So this is the open C chord shape that we all know and love. But if I repositioned my fingers like this and I played the index finger behind the nut like this, and I just shifted it up 1 fret at a time until the root note was a G note, then that's my shape. And I'm just taking a portion of that shape. Now for our picking pattern, we're going to go the 4th string, hold that out, and then go 3rd and 2nd with the down up. And then we have 3 more plucks here. The 3rd string, 4th string, and 3rd string with an up, down, up. So down, down, up, down, up. That's our picking pattern. Now the next chord is an A7, and we'll highlight that by just taking our G shape and moving it up 2 frets to an A triad. So G triad, G sharp triad, A triad. We're going to play this same picking pattern. Then for the last 2 bars, we'll just bar our index finger across the 7th frets of the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. Now where does this triad come from? Based off the A open chord shape. So if we play an open A here, and again we put our index finger behind, so we're taking the open strings with us. If we take this until our root note is a D, this is our D major chord, and we're just taking a portion of it. So the first line of tab. Now the second line of tab is identical, except for the final bar, we're just going to hit all the strings of that D triad, and that's it. So the verse lead would sound like this. Now remember, the chorus and the verse chord progressions were very similar, just with that one chord change. The fourth bar was a B minor instead of a D. So we'll reflect that in our lead guitar parts. So in the fourth bar, instead of playing this D triad again, we're going to play a B minor triad, which looks like this. Just the same as the D triad, except we're going to put our ring finger on the 9th fret of the 4th string. Now where does this shape come from? Well, it comes from our 6th string minor bar chord shape. So this is a B minor, we're just taking a portion of that. That's the only difference, so the chorus lead will sound like this. And those are all the parts for this song. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song, and I'll have a vocal track on top for some context. A big thanks to my friend Eric for lending his awesome vocals to this playthrough. Now for the first 2 verses and choruses, I'll just have the rhythm guitar playing, but for the 3rd verse and chorus, I'll introduce the lead guitar so you can hear that in context.
Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año de felicidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año de felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año de felicidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año de felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, próspero año de felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, próspero año de felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, próspero año de felicidad.
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here, or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitar0tohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.